Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I'm your host, Dylan Cooper, with our constant co host over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we are here with a new beer. We have not had this beer from Oak and Barrel yet.
We've had this brewery, but not this
Yes,
beer.
we've had this brewery 3 times. This is the third time, I think.
What did we have the
We've
second
had
time?
Alabaster. I'm pretty sure it's Indiana Amber for your birthday.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, it's a good thing I got Gnawbone then.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And so this one was actually donated to us by the good man Daniel.
Yes, Daniel, hero, thank you for the birthday present. I appreciate it.
This is the second birthday beer he bought us in a row, so it's like a really cool thing. It's like Oak and Barrel is like a birthday. It's kind of like a big important brewery to us, and it happens to be one that allows you to like call ahead and buy like a certificate.
Yeah,
So
they're just great.
Yeah, great brewery. So
And we were at a random bar in Chicago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking to this guy, and we were saying where we were from. We're like, oh yeah, we were from like the Greenwood area. He's like, oh, have you ever been to Oak and Barrel? We're like, yeah. And the guy was like, yeah, I know the owner. Weren't they like homeless like slept underneath a bridge or something?
I don't remember that part of the story.
I'm pretty sure like they were just homeless together.
He talked about how they did like 500 Indy 500 like things together all the time.
Dude, I swear, I don't think I'm making this up. They
This
were
was
talking about being
wasn't
homeless
even,
under
like-
a bridge.
It wasn't even a random guy. It was the bouncer at the bar we went to.
Yeah.
And it was like it was an interesting brewery. It wasn't even a bar, but everything there is like a bar. It's
Yeah.
very weird. Naperville, right?
Something like that. I just know there was like 5 of us in there. We were just chatting with him.
Yeah, and so he just sat down and started drinking. The bouncer started drinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
It was a good time. Yeah. So today we don't actually have anything planned for the books. We are in the process of reading Outcast Dead, and I am proud to announce I have surpassed Dylan once again.
Yeah, you're probably like 3 chapters ahead.
Actually I'm on chapter 11.
Oh shit!
So
I am just now starting chapter 6. Okay, about 5 chapters.
Okay, good, pretty good deal. So it's an okay read. We don't want to jump too far into that whatsoever, but that will be our next podcast is the preview to Outcast Dead. But today, plan on talking about 2 things, and then kind of just if we have extra time, just kind of talking.
Yeah, but before we do any of this,
we
got to do housekeeping bullshit. So first thing first, if you guys want to chat with us, you can do that by joining our Discord. We had a new member join today. It was really cool. Have another person to interact with.
Good conversation. It's starting to heat up a little bit. It's been a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. We shoot the shit a lot, and it might be a little over the top sometimes. May have some weird things coming up in the future from us.
Or now.
Sometimes we get a little too wild. The Discord can be found on our Twitter, which you can tweet at us, DM us, whatever. That is at Heresy Lodge, and you can always email us on there, whatever you want. If you want to,
heresylodge@gmail.com.
Yes, that is our email.
That's the one.
But if you just want to, give us some comments of things that we should fix. Especially like newer people, they hear our older episodes, which fucking suck.
Yeah.
We have bad audio. We don't know what we're talking about. We hadn't read the books in like months, so we're kind of like BSing it. But I think we're doing a lot better now, and
it's improving.
Yeah, if you want to help us improve as well, do that. Let us know. YouTube members, you can always comment on the YouTubes. I comment back on pretty much everything.
There's so much improvement for us to have on YouTube now. Like, there's at least 3 major changes I want to make, and that's a better background, a better mic, and a better camera. And like, it's a work in progress. We're gonna get there, just not immediately.
Yeah, bear with us. There's like the podcast, the YouTube is a learning process for us, and we can get worse. So we're definitely gonna get better.
We could get worse, but we're
God
gonna
damn it!
try
No, we cannot. We're the greatest. But other than that, that is all the housekeeping. Let's shoot the shit. We are gonna talk about some Legion. We talked about how before that Gavin was in the Orlando Open.
Yes.
So how was that? We haven't actually talked that much about it.
We haven't. It was a fucking blast. Like, it was honestly, it was exhausting first off, but it was so much fun. So first things first, I went down there with my girlfriend and her friend, and the reason we invited her friend because I was like, I'm gonna be so busy, I need you to like have somebody.
you need
know
to
what I
you need to do something else because
Exactly.
you're gonna hate yourself.
So the first day we went down a day earlier and went to Universal.
Universal's fun.
It was my first time there, dude. You're gonna be so proud of me.
You get on a roller coaster?
I rode all the roller coasters,
Oh my
man,
god!
and I
Gavin's
fucking
getting
loved it.
big.
I
What?
fucking loved it. Here's the thing. This is what I realized. I'm not a fan
Wooden
of
coasters?
the wooden like
Yeah,
roller
the wooden
coasters.
ones just beat the
But
shit
like
out
the
of
shit
you.
like the Firebird or whatever, like I would do that. Like I rode all those kind of things. They were awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I've just been a child my whole life. I went on the first one. I was having like a panic attack, and then it started going, and I was like, oh, this is fine.
Whee!
This is great. This is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. We did the whole Harry Potter world and everything.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
It was. I will say, if you ever go to Universal, do not do the Hogwarts Castle Harry Potter ride. The Hogwarts Castle looks badass.
Yeah.
But you get on the ride and like basically you get in this like this 4-man cart and this claw grabs your cart. And have you seen like the octopus rides at the fair? It's doing that throughout the castle and all these scenes. And I'm just getting sick. I'm just like, it was the most nauseating ride I've ever been on. And there's also a lot of spiders. So if you're not a fan of that, it's a thing. Also, big upset for Universal. Butterbeer is not alcoholic.
No, it's not.
That's depressing.
They actually, so in Annapolis, there's a place called, is it Hot Fizz on the circle?
Rocket Fizz.
Rocket Fizz, and they actually sell that there.
Oh, that makes sense. That's cool. But anyway, back to the main event thing.
Yes.
I went to the tournament the next day, but the reason I wanted to say all that is I was fucking exhausted. Like, we were already up super late and walking around all day. And I don't know if you haven't really played like a long game of Warhammer, but if you're like really into it, especially being 6'2", and you're bending over, your back like
I can
really
imagine.
hurts after 3 hours of playing. So walking around all day, then going into 3 back-to-back 3-hour games of Warhammer, my body was just fucking done. So first off, it was so cool. If you go onto our Discord, you'll see videos of it. I posted various pictures. I took a video of like the whole hall. It was a huge
Yeah, it was
hotel hall.
huge.
All these tables were set up with these really badass.
The terrain looked awesome.
It was so awesome. And I'm saying like, there's no way it's gonna be cool terrain. It was so well done.
Yeah, it was really. I was actually watching the stream because I was hopeful I was gonna see you. Never saw you, but I saw like a bunch of like other things. I was like, man, this is really cool.
Yeah, and all of the armies there were painted. All of them.
Yeah.
I did
Well, I'm
not
pretty
see
sure
a
that-
single.
I like looked over the rules and it was like a requirement.
So it's a requirement, but you technically don't have to. The problem is, in every game you can score a possible of 100 points, but in the game you can only score 90.
Isn't it 10 points off of
did.
paint?
My mind back into.
Yeah.
But he was an awesome dude, and he definitely deserved that win. Those Necrons were rough.
Yeah.
They were just super durable.
Oh, yeah, and they had the reanimation too, which I'm sure was fucking your towel.
It's actually, It's not awful because I have enough shots to just shoot him off the table anyway.
Oh, there you go.
But,
You can because you can wipe a unit, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't like. He didn't have enough shots to do anything to me, but he just liked to towel suffer it. He had better board control.
Yeah,
that's what really killed me. The second I went up against was also Necrons.
A lot of Necrons I see. Actually, I'm pretty because I actually like looked through like the list because I was seeing like how you were doing. And I was just wanting to see like what armies were there. I saw quite a few Necrons. I saw one Grey Knight.
Yeah, there was one Grey Knight. I don't think he did super well.
No, he was on the bottom.
But it was super surprising to see the lists that were there. Like there were like 6 towel lists.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw.
Why the fuck are there 6?
At least for like
lists?
the longest time, was it? Shit, who was at the top? It was like Dark Angels or something. Like they were at the top for like a long time, like most of the tournament.
The guy who won was Siegler, Richard Siegler. Is it Richard Siegler?
I have no idea.
His name's Siegler. Last name's Siegler. And he played Mechanicum.
Yeah, I saw Mechanicum up there. I think I saw the Sisterhood up there.
Yeah, Duptus Sworitas was played by John Lennon. He's like one of the best guys. Him and Siegler are definitely the 2 best people there. And they made it to the final 2.
Yeah.
So it was a Duptus Sworitas versus Mechanicum, and he won by 2 points.
Whew.
84 to 82.
Damn. Yeah, I saw several admechs.
Yeah, there were a lot of admechs, but it was nuts because I was expecting like an insanely competitive scene. It wasn't like that. People were really relaxed. Like if I was like I forgot to raise banners or something, they'd be like, yeah, we'll just pretend you raised banners, like because it's like you would have done that, you just skipped over it, no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, really chill. So the second player I went up against was also Necrons, and that was the Silent King. He brought the Silent King, which is like this big ass. He's like a Primarch for the Necrons.
Oh shit!
It is fucking awesome looking model, amazingly painted, and I barely pulled off the win there. But it was so cool to go up. It was like a completely different army because he just had like a bunch of vehicles and the other guy had no vehicles.
Yeah.
So my Talus is very good at shooting off vehicles. So I had a bit of like an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the Silent King is fucking scary on the tabletop. He's really cool, really badass. Yeah, pulled off the win on that one. Cool opponent as well. And then the third one of the day was another Tau player. And he was playing the old school Tau, which is like triple Riptides. I just don't think it works very well currently with the new rules and the way the meta is. So I kind of wiped the floor with them. And it was really cool. It was very honoring to me because the whole time we were playing, he was like, "Dude, your list is awesome. Like, why am I not like rolling something like this?" I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate that." Because I took a lot of time, like, trying to make the list.
Thought it through.
Yeah, exactly. And like, he was obviously there because he's just like he had like 8 armies. He was like, "I just like playing the tower, I like doing this." So he like showed up. I don't think he did very well in the tournament, but I scored, I think it was like 98 out of 100.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Because I kept trying to see like how you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, if I can't see him on the stream, I'll at least look at the scores. And someone like finally like, it's actually asked on Reddit. I was like, does anyone know like where I can get like the like live scores? And like someone sent me a link. I was like, oh, fuck, thank God.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, but that guy was a super cool opponent. Very nice. Like every single person was nice. There was not an opponent I went up against that I was like, this guy's super shitty. Not at all. So next day. First opponent I go up against is Ultramarines. And man, he fucking wiped the floor with my shit. It was so sad. Like, I don't think it's really hard to say there's such thing as an unwinnable game, but that would have been like up there. Yeah. Like his list and the mission specifically just countered everything about my army. Like I was kind of fucked.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's how you try to like keep things, balanced, right? You have to have a counter.
Exactly, and that was definitely my counter. I remember like later on in the tournament, I in one turn killed a knight with my crisis suits. One turn, and like that's not that crazy. There's a lot of things I can do that.
Yeah,
but just one unit, that was pretty good. It was a good exchange. I unloaded my crisis suits for 2 turns on this guy, and I think I killed like 7 models.
Shit.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It was absolutely nuts. He was running a lot of Primaris stuff, so he had things with three wounds. Just a
3
lot.
wounds is a lot.
It's a lot for an infantry model that also is objective.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure like my like paladin squad for my Grey Knights, I think they're 4,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, that's an elite unit.
An incredibly elite. No, yeah, these guys were also elite units, but what really is crazy, this is gonna blow your mind here because you don't really know a lot about this, right? So there's a squad of 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 2-up armor save and like a 3-up, maybe 4-up invuln, which is pretty good for 3 wounds.
Yeah.
And so the problem is, and they can shrug wounds on a 6. It's like once they get wounded, if they roll a 6, it ignores it.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy part about them that makes them so insanely durable is if they have a apothecary next to them, at the end of every movement phase, they just get to bring a model back. That's 3 wounds they just get to bring back for free. There's nothing they have to spend. And if one model's wounded, they automatically get back up to full health. So if you kill 2.5 models the next turn, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're there. So it's kind of rough going against those guys.
I don't want to do a spoiler alert, but we're going to play a game later tonight, and my apothecary can do something.
Yeah. Apothecaries are very nasty in 9th edition. They're like an auto include in pretty much everything.
I think I have a smoke alarm going off.
And that's fair. You need to change the batteries on that.
Well, according to the builder, all of my smoke alarms should be going off when one's dying. Because that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But this one's not going off, so I think we're good.
We're set. So yeah, I got absolutely eradicated. There were definitely I've been thinking about that game a lot because I got creamed that game.
Yeah, like what could you have done better?
There were things I could have done better, for sure. It was a rough game though. Could I have won it? I would have to get some good rolls. Next game we went up against was Orcs. Dude, this guy was awesome. The guy I played against who had Orcs, we were just shooting the shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Because at that point we were in our brackets.
Yeah.
And we had made 3rd bracket out of 4. So I wasn't in the super competitive mode, and neither was this guy. And I did really well against the Orcs, which my list does very well against Orcs most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
But he was awesome. He was not a very competitive player. There were a lot of things he forgot to do, and I didn't in the tournament scene.
Yeah, I want to win.
Yeah, you don't really want to tell them, that's kind of something they have to learn. But afterwards, both of us talked, and he was like, "Oh, you could have shot my warlord at this point because he was exposed in the closest model to you." I was like, "Oh, you could have done this." It was really cool.
Yeah.
To get that kind of thing, and then I went up against the army with a knight, and oh my gosh, I killed this guy, and I feel so bad. So he had this knight. It was a Castellan knight, which for those of you who don't know, it's just a shitload of firepower.
Yeah.
And so he starts off, and he gets his knight right in position, and just unloads everything into my suits. He kills one crisis. And what's crazy about my crisis suits is, if you shoot them with an AP -1 or 2 weapon, it ignores it. So it's just, they have a 2-up save, so they just have to roll 2s. I kill his knight, and then he just rails at me, all my crisis suits with everything. I feel the guy forfeit, and I understand why. He was getting so frustrated. I make 44 2-up saves in a row.
Fuck.
I didn't roll a 1 in 44 dice.
That's insane. I feel like every time we play, you roll all ones, and you're just
nuts.
God damn it.
And I feel really bad for that. He was a great opponent though. He's really nice. He was from South Carolina, I think.
Them Southern boys.
He had the Southern, and his dad was there, who also was super thick Southern accent. But it was super awesome. His army was really well painted, and I feel bad. I really do, because it was not that. When people say that dice aren't at the end of the day.
So I'm gonna time you out. My wife can't reach the smoke alarm to take out the battery, so I need you to keep talking about the tournament, and I will be right back, guys.
Okay, good luck with the smoke alarm. I'll just talk in here, and do your best as quickly as possible.
I got you.
So yeah, I feel really bad for this guy because it was a stroke of luck entirely. So they typically say that it's a dice game, but the dice don't matter because eventually it all kind of evens out. This was one of those games where it did not. So I feel very, very bad because he put some good strategy into it. He probably could have done a couple better things, but at the end of the day, I think he gave it his best, and it was just a game that he was not going to win. So that's what happened to the Knights there. So that was my 3 games the second day, and there were 2 additional games you could play the next day. And originally I wasn't going to. So what happened was, since I won the first 2 of my bracket, all I had to do was win 2 more, and I would win the bracket. So I figured, okay, I'll go ahead and try at least play the first one. The problem was, my girlfriend and her friend really wanted to go out that night. So I got incredibly trashed. And the next morning I was very hungover. I'm not saying that's why I lost the game. But there was a couple times where I would make a mistake and I was like, I'm so fucking out of it. That's why I made the mistake. So the last army I went up against was actually Tyranids. So it was the first Tyranids list I played in a long time. I think I only played against them one other time, and it was like a 500 point game. So this was a really interesting list. He had a lot of Forge World models, just big, huge bugs. And it was a lot of fun just seeing like how extreme I could make my firepower, because I just unloaded on these huge bugs and absolutely obliterated them, and it was a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, he was able to hold a lot more of the table. He had a lot more board control. I wouldn't consider it like a crushing defeat. I think I scored like 45 to his like 70. So I was a few points out, but not a lot. But one of the interesting things about that guy is he actually lives in the same town that we live in. And what's even crazier is they do battle reports on YouTube. I was just actually telling you about this really cool thing. The last guy I played, he lives in Greenwood.
Oh shit!
And I actually played 2 people that lived in Indiana. Huh. Apparently, like, we're very big on the scene. And nice. This guy is a part. I had no idea. I know this YouTube channel, Beers and Battle Reps.
Yeah.
Yeah, they film out of Martinsville.
Cool.
Yeah, so he was like, yeah, we go to GP South all the time, which is where I go to play Warhammer every once in a while. And I thought it was really cool that, like, I kind of talked to him about me and you do a podcast and all that stuff. And it's really cool to see that there's a large amount of content creation going on.
That is really cool.
So he was like, yeah, like, let me know whenever you're going to GP South and we can, like, play some or whatever. But it was, like, that guy was, like, my favorite opponent. Like, he was super chill. We were shooting a shit the whole time, too. Him and the work player were really awesome.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, did you get your fire alarm fixed?
I took it off the ceiling.
Okay.
It's fine.
Kind of a crazy moment there. But, yeah. Maybe in the future we can do some...
That'd be fucking sick.
Some crossover.
That'd be really cool.
Beer and
even just having, like, 2v2s against them, that'd be really cool.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We're looking at that sometime.
So that's my tournament. I ended up losing that one, so I decided not to play the second game that day, which was a great thing, because the second game wouldn't have ended until 6 p.m., and I didn't get home until 6 a.m. the next day, driving back from Florida, so if I would have waited until 6 p.m. Oh, yeah.
I thought you flew for some reason. Shit.
No. We had a lot, and I was able to get the days off, but I did not have Monday off, so that was a very early, like, very few hours of sleep. That was my tournament experience. I highly recommend, like, it's kind of confusing getting into the tournament scene.
Mm-hmm.
I would highly recommend, like, if you don't have an army and you want to start, you can easily go to Best Coast Pairings. Is that what it's called? Frontline Gaming. Frontlinegaming.com. They have a whole list of ITC events, and you can look for specifically escalation leagues, which are like you start at lower points, and throughout the period of weeks, you increase in the amount of points your army is. It's really, really good for new players who are wanting to, like, learn their faction and not have to commit 2,000 points to an army immediately.
Yeah, because it's expensive.
Mm-hmm. No, I will say it is 2,000 points to an army over 2 months.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of an accelerated buy your shit and get it together. But it's still really cool. And if you are playing Warhammer 40K, still go to Frontline Gaming. It's kind of wild to me that there's tournaments in, like, every state every weekend, like, all over the place. So you can pretty much very easily drive to a tournament on a weekend that you don't have anything to do, and it's a blast. And I cannot wait till we go to a tournament. It's gonna
that'll be fun. So let's get into lore.
Yeah,
we are a Lord podcast, or not Lord. We are lords.
We are lords. To the Lord, our podcast reaches.
Yes.
The ears of our Lord and Savior, the Emperor.
Yes, the Emperor protects, probably.
Maybe.
I don't know why my accent was changing there.
Some people he protects.
Yes, but it is probably us.
Definitely. So,
Not
the
Outcast
Outcast.
Dead.
I don't know why.
We're talking Legions.
Fiddling. We are talking Legions today. So, we kind of talked about the Emperor's plan last time, and what we want to discuss now is the various legions, maybe some aspects of them that we know, and me and Dylan have rated each of the legions as far as power level. Now, when we say power level, we mean like which legions would just beat the other legions, like in general. And I think a big thing about this too is it's pre-Prospero, pre-Isfahan.
Yeah, this is pre-random bullshit happening, pre the Raven Guard losing every single person other than Korax.
Yeah, and the thing is too with this, we can talk about how Isfahan affects these rankings.
Yeah,
but a lot of it's going to be, oh, the Raven Guard are now the worst. The Salamanders are pretty bad. But what's actually kind of interesting is,
especially after the last one, Salamanders got fucked up.
You know, after reading some of this, it talks about how quite a few salamanders escaped. I'm like, how?
they
All
will
of
not
the books
stop.
are getting railed on. Like, what salamanders are dying every other chapter in these books. What are you talking about? So I think the best thing we can kind of do is just kind of start with the list and talk about why we chose to rank them first, what their kind of role is, and why we think they're so powerful or so weak.
Okay.
And where they fit. So we'll start with you. What was your number one ranking?
Number 1, Thousand Suns. I think just the fact that they're all psychers is just OP as fuck.
You're a Thousand Suns fanboy.
I wouldn't even say I'm a fanboy. I just think they're really strong.
I think you're kind of obsessed with Thousand Suns Space Wolf storyline, which is cool.
I like the storyline a lot, but I think that's just because I in my mind I think they're the 2 strongest legions. I think 1 is just like inherently just incredibly fucking strong because they're all psychic. I mean, Magnus, I mean, I have a second on my list, but I think any day he could be number 1 because of how just the psychic bullshit he has.
Yeah, Magnus and the Thousand Suns consistently fall not only on the top of mine in your list, but also the top of Graham's.
Yeah,
which is like, I think it just speaks to the just insane strength of the Thousand Suns and their primary.
Yeah, the dude can turn himself the size of a fucking Titan and fight a Titan.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking OP as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So, yeah, the Thousand Suns, like, their role is the Psychers. They started the Librarian Order in all of the legions. So, they're insanely powerful. I often theorize, like, if the Thousand Suns, like, let's say they were to be demolished, right? They would probably just incorporate into most legions and just be, like, a big powerhouse for the other legions. You know what I mean? But yeah, like the thing about the Thousand Suns that makes them far better than any legion, like they're not the best fighting legion, but they're still Space Marines, so they can still fight. But then their power just send them to like the next level.
Yeah.
My first legion is actually the Ultramarines, which I think makes sense as well.
Yeah, I mean they're the largest legion. They're good at everything.
Very tactful, like very like you said, like. They can pretty much approach any problem and solve it. Mm-hmm. They don't really need help from other legions. There's not like a strategic situation that they can't get through. And Gilliman is such a good commander in that aspect that like the Ultramarines, they're an unstoppable fucking force.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure, I want to say World Eaters also end up at Ultramar to help the Word Bearers. And that just says a lot that the second biggest legion still has to bring in a bunch of reinforcements.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the word bearers when we get there, but like they are a pretty powerful force when they're united and they want to be. So having the Ultramarines just do what they fucking do, and they do it so well. Like it's often described like the Ultramarines is a poster boy for the Space Marines. That's why the Emperor used the Ultramarines when at Monarchia.
Yeah,
she's like, this is what you could be.
Yep.
To the word bears. That's why I have them above the Thousand Suns, because I think like even with their prowess, the Ultramarines just have the numbers and they have the tactics to deal with those Psychers. And the Ultramarines employ Psychers as well. They may not be as good, but they do have some pretty potent Psychers.
Yep.
So that's why I have them there. So what is your second?
Well, Space Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because they are the Emperor's executioners, and I think that they can pretty much kill anybody.
Space Wolves is pretty nuts. I would
And
agree
they're
with
a
that.
lot smarter than like people think they are.
I'd say that the Space Wolves, they're definitely up there as far as legions go. The thing is, like, yeah, they're literally genetically made to kill the other legions.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue that there are other legions that are better. But I think there are a few that, if had to go up against the Space Wolves, would give them an insane fight.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like the Space Wolves when they fought the Thousand Suns, they would have lost. The reason they won the fight against the Thousand Suns, Magnus decided not to join till the end.
Yep.
They didn't have any prep time against the Space Wolves.
Mm-mm.
They had the Custodians and the Sisters of Silence, which
Yeah.
was a huge buff to the Space Wolves army.
I agree.
So, yeah, I would. But that's the thing about the Space Wolves is like that's the concept. Is it's like, yeah, you could beat us, but we're going to find a tactic to beat you with eventually. You know what I mean? Like that's how they work. So, Space Wolves are good. My second is the Thousand Suns for the same reason yours was the first. Yeah.
All right. My 3 is Ultramarines. Pretty much after what you said. I mean, biggest legion, good at everything.
So you think that the Thousand Suns or the Space Wolves would probably be able to beat the Ultramarines?
Now, I mean, the Thousand Suns, I just think they're super OP. I could see the Ultramarines, like, beating them just out of sheer, like a battle of attrition, just because there's so many.
Right.
But, I mean, any given day, I could see the 1K Suns doing it.
Like if the Thousand Suns went to a battle with the Ultramarines, yeah, they'd probably pull out on top. Yeah, it's true. The Space Wolves, though, like it's hard to beat their tenacity.
Yep.
Like, yeah, there's an entire room of Ultramar. The Space Wolves would do it.
Yeah, they fucking would.
It'd be rough.
They'd be super tactical about it though. Like they'd probably like, take out like all the planets around it.
Yeah.
And like no one would know like what the hell happened to them.
Yeah.
They would like make decoys and shit.
Here's my problem with that is like I think the Space Wolves would come in with like an insane shock factor and completely fuck up the realm of Ultramar. But as they get closer and closer to Macragge, like Gilliman's tactics would slowly start to turn the tide of battle.
Yeah, I could see it.
And that's how the Ultramarines have kind of worked against every threat that has come to Ultramar. Is like the closer they get, the more of a powerhouse the Ultramarines become because they learn from their enemies.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really hard for the Space Wolves to completely eliminate the Ultramarines without eliminating themselves.
Yeah.
So mine, actually, the third was the Sons of Horus. This just makes sense to me. Like the Sons of Horus have been known to have the best record.
They're the elites.
They're the Legion of the War Master. They also have like the highest compliance rate out of any other legion.
Yeah.
They're not as big as the Ultramarines. They're not as big as the Word Bearers, but they bring more worlds and compliance than any other legion.
Yeah.
They are just the best at attacking. Like, I really think the Space Wolves would have a really fucking hard time fighting the Sons of Horus in battle. I think it would be really fucking hard. Like, the problem is the Sons of Horus to us, as we read the books, is like the midpoint.
Yeah, and plus too, like you get to think like pretty like Isfahan 3. I mean, like the Mournival's full of really strong motherfuckers.
Really strong.
Torgadon, Abaddon, Little Horus, Loken, like all 4 of those are bad motherfuckers.
I mean, even you people. That's the problem. Is like when we read these books, we kind of like get used to the Sons of Horus.
Yeah.
We kind of do. We're like, oh, whatever, Axmon. But we fail to realize that Axmon's probably the most badass Space Marine. Not Axmon, Abaddon.
Yeah,
probably
Abaddon's
the most badass
insane.
Space Marine. And then we think like Loken. Like, oh, it's just Loken. Loken beat the shit out of Lucius.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like the best fighter in the Emperor's Children.
Granted, he punched him in the face, but
But that's the point.
yeah, he beat him in a one-on-one.
Yeah, and like that's where I really think the Sons of Horus, like we just underestimate them all the time because we think of them as like the background now. Like we read the first 3 books and now they're in the background.
Yeah, we haven't seen them like in a long time.
And whenever we do, it's just like dark conversations of them colluding in the void, and I'm like, I feel like in our mindset, we're like, we're not going to see them again until the Siege of Terra.
Yep,
that kind
pretty
of thing.
much. I mean, Vengeful Spirit.
Exactly, and it's like, but they're still really badass.
Yeah.
And we'll get to see the Space Wolves go up against the Sons of Horus. Actually,
Yeah, I actually have Sons of Horus decently low, but they could easily be top 3 to me.
Yeah, this is a really hard list to make.
Yeah.
We struggled with it, but I like my list.
And we would like forget about a Legion, and then like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the big one that really rocked us both was Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, like
we're like, hold on, we already named 6 other ones. We better move these down.
Yeah. The next up we have for you was the Iron Warriors.
Yep. Next, I have Iron Warriors. I just think they are, especially after reading Iron Within, like they are just so intelligent.
Isn't this? I feel like the Iron Warriors are gonna go way higher up on my list when we read more about them, because like just that one short story, I was like,
holy fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean they just think so far ahead. I found it incredibly impressive. I mean, even like when we had the view of them Isfan 5, and they're like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We are going to completely surround them with these walls, and we are going to fire on them and fuck them all to death. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good.
They did a good job. Mission accomplished.
Yeah. Good job, Mr. Garrison.
It was it's crazy that short story might be I'd say my second favorite short story.
Yeah,
you can't beat
The Last Church is so good, but yeah,
but this was the Iron Within was like
insane.
Yeah, and just give
it was
me
just such a good battle.
Yeah, like so well written. It was like a montage.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, and then he swung his sword left, yada yada. It was like, week 2, we fell back to these areas, and like this is what I wanted from like.
Which is really interesting that we'd say that too, because like we had that really cool battle at Prospero Burns that we're like, man, that setting was just insane. And this short story, it wasn't just the setting; it was the whole thing. It was just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like you have this upside down castle that is like
so cool.
break points and walls that's full of food and weapons,
well
like the whole thing.
So I think of that, like when I think of the Iron Warriors, I think of that short story, and I'm like, man, the Iron Warriors, they're probably pretty badass. And like, honestly, I'm looking at like, after reading that story, even I'm looking at Graham's list of Primarchs, and he has Protorabo as number 3. That might not be too crazy.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Protorabo, but just seeing like how the Iron Words acted in that, it's like, huh.
Yeah.
Wonder what their Primarch is like.
Yeah, it was really badass for sure. So I definitely see why you have Iron Warriors up there. My 4th is the Dark Angels.
Dark Angels are badass. I mean,
it makes sense. They're the first.
Yeah, that and the thing is, they're supposed to be you send the Space Wolves
as your executioners.
Yeah, but if you want to get the job done, you send the Dark Angels.
Yeah, like if you want to kill a Legion, you send the Space Wolves. That's like people always argue like Space Wolves or Dark Angels. Who's the executioner really?
Yeah,
it's 2 different jobs. They're 2 different jobs entirely. The first one is kill another Legion. The second one is I need to fucking get this job done right now. Send the Dark Angels. 2 different jobs entirely. And the Dark Angels, they just fucking get shit done. And they have access to weapons that no other Legions has. The Emperor, I really think, trusts Lionel Johnson more than any other Primarch because of his blind loyalty.
Yeah. He's an idiot, so I mean...
Exactly. Like, the Emperor kind of, like, falls on him being an idiot.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's kind of hard to trust an idiot to, like, take down a Legion. Like, yes, he's very tactical, but...
I get that. That's a good point.
I just don't think he's like, I don't know. I mean, like we had like the interaction with a Savage Weapons, right?
Ugh, all of the interactions with fucking.
Yeah, like I mean, he's meeting the enemy and then he gets his ass kicked.
The fact that he got his ass kicked by
that was very surprising.
I was like, whoa, what?
Did not see that coming.
I love that. It's Conrad Kurz though.
Bad motherfucker.
Conrad fucking Kurz. Super cool. Servitor. The fucking Night Lords in general. Like, I really want to read about them because they are so much fun to read about.
Dude, I love Servitor. Servitor is the reason I actually have the Night Lord so high.
Servitor is seriously like, when I think he almost like reminds me of like Deadpool.
Yes,
exactly. Like, this dude's like talking so much shit.
We were talking in the Discord earlier, and I was like, yeah, so Servitor is Deadpool.
That's like one of the things we made in Discord was like, what's the reading order of the books?
Yes.
And I said the first thing you should read is the chapter in Fulgrim where Fulgrim decapitates Ferrus Manus, and then at the very end it should be Servitor saying, "So you're probably wondering how we got here."
Yes.
And like I think like the heresy according to Servitor would just be so hilarious.
It would be
The
funny.
fucking scene.
So
where...
Servitor is Ryan Reynolds.
That's what I was sitting there thinking. Like, can you imagine? Like, I can just imagine like Ryan Reynolds sitting there on this fucking like planet, and this Dark Angel dude like trash talking him.
So remember early on in our episodes, like we talked about like trying to like put like actors to like Primarch and stuff. I think after the Primarch anthology, we should actually do this for our extra episode.
I'm super pumped about that. But that fucking scene where the Dark Angel's just fucking trash talking Servitor, and it's like, I don't even remember the fucking. He was just like, hey, Captain Servitor, you're a piece of shit. Yada yada went on, and lets him go through the whole spiel. Lets him go through the whole spiel, and Servitor goes, "It's primary Captain Servitor."
I just love the whole thing too when he's like, you know what, I like you guys. I'll make sure I hang your skull over here.
It was like so funny when the guy's like, I promise you I'll kill you, Servitor. Servitor's like, yeah. You and like a million other people that I've fucking talked to.
I wish one of you would.
I'm kind of tired of this. It's getting really boring. And like the guy literally says to the, he said that they fuck pigs. And then they laugh.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, what'd you say to them? I said they fucked pigs. It's like, why are they laughing? Like, sometimes people just joke. I don't know. Like that, he's like, is that not an honor problem for them? And it's like, I don't think the Night Lords really give a fuck about honor. Like, if you tell the Night Lords that they fuck pigs, that's funny.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe we went super off topic. Next, I have World Eaters.
Wait a minute. Yes, World Eaters.
World Eaters, I think, just like, they're just fucking nuts. I think it'd be hard to kill them. Mm-hmm. Just because all they want to do is kill you. They don't care about anything else other than killing.
The problem is with the World Eaters that I've always experienced is like, yes, that's all they want to do is kill. But I really think like any sort of strategic general would realize that like if you just cut them off from being able to like get to you and murder you, they would hate it.
Yeah. They
would have like a really hard fucking time dealing with that. And there are so many legions that would just be like, oh, okay, let's have like a space battle. You know? And the World Leaders would be like, oh my god,
I'm gonna be honest, I always like forget about space battles.
It's like the biggest part, honestly. Isn't it crazy? Like 70% of all the dead space marines are probably dead in space. Yeah, and like the World Leaders, like, they're there and they're constantly like in your face, but the second you found a way to not even allow them to get in your face and they have to get in like a shootout, they're fucked.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think, like, if you're on a planet and just you and them, I could see them just really fucking wiping the floor with almost every legion.
I just feel like there's a lot of legions that would figure out how to deal with it.
No, yeah, there's definitely not smarter ones.
Yeah. Mine was the Space Wolves. And honestly, Space Wolves and Dark Angels for me are very interchangeable.
Yeah.
I think, like, which one is better? I'd be inclined to put Space Wolves above. Maybe I'd want to switch my.
I definitely like Lehman Russell way better.
Yeah, Lehman Russell is way cooler, and I think the Space Wolves in general, are way cooler than the fucking
Dark Angels
except for Zahariel. Zahariel's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah,
and Namiel's cool too. They're both badass characters. But that's all we get. Luther's fucking cool.
I love Luther.
Luther's
my
awesome.
favorite Dark Angel, and he's not really a Dark Angel anymore.
Yeah. I just don't think the problem is the Space Wolves, man. Like Skarkason is the fucking comic relief of the entire fucking
man.
He's good at it.
Skarkason versus Servitor.
Oh, they're so
and
good.
A narration battle.
That would be great. That's like literally the goals of the Horus Heresy.
Those are my wet dreams.
Oh man, Skarkason and Servitor not fighting because Servitor would fucking kill them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But they're just in a room talking.
Yes.
That would be fucking hilarious. If we could get, I know there's still like 2 or 3 books left in the Siege of Terra writers.
Come on.
There can just be like a point where Servitor and Skarkason are in a room together not fighting. That'd be so sick.
I agree.
Better than the Emperor with a Primarch. Like, screw that scene. Throw it away. Let's get those two Space Marines in a room.
Like those two, like just like narrating what's happening.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be ridiculous.
You'd have Skarkashar sitting being like, you know what? I could have fucking killed Horus better than Sanguinius. So Ratar's like, I'm sure you could, buddy.
And I could kill both of you because.
Who wouldn't?
Yep.
So yeah, Space Wolves, very interchangeable with me with the Dark Angels. So next you have Sons of Horus.
Yep. Honestly, I could easily switch Sons of Horus and World Eaters, and honestly, I could even maybe put them up there with the Iron Warriors. I think this is very just interchangeable. Like we talked about, they're the elites. They're especially like pre-Isfahan having like the Mournival, how strong they are, especially Abaddon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Abaddon's basically like a fucking. He's basically a Primarch now in 40k.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I have there afterwards is the Iron Warriors. I feel bad putting them this low now that we've talked about it.
They're just so badass.
But the thing is, like,
we know nothing of them.
I know.
One short story. Like, damn, they're cool.
The thing is, like, I'm looking at them, like, could they really beat the Space Wolves? Could they really beat the Dark Angels, the Sons of Horus, the Thousand Sons, the Ultramarines? I like where they're at. I think it's a good spot.
I definitely like them like above where I have them on like the World Eaters list because I think like they would definitely outsmart the World Eaters.
Absolutely, and actually,
and I guarantee I know Sons of Horus would too, but if I had to make it juicy, right?
I think we see them outsmart the World Eaters.
I'd believe it
later on. I think it'll be kind of cool. The next up for you is Dark Angels.
Mm-hmm.
So you think Sons of Horus could be Dark Angels? I agreed with that. You think the World Eaters could be the Dark Angels?
See, this one's that part's iffy. Honestly, I could see, especially after the Lions fight with Conrad Kurz.
You could see Angron beating the
shit out of the Lion. And
I can see that.
I mean, Karn's definitely. I mean, fucking the Alpha Legion pre-heresy has fucked off from Caliban. So I mean, they're missing like their strongest fighter. They're missing Luther. They're missing
the Dark Angels.
Yes.
You said Alpha Legion.
Shit, I meant Dark Angels.
Alpha Legion and Cal. I don't remember that part of the books. I mean, probably.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, like I mean, like they're already missing like several like their big factors, and I think like Karn by himself.
Karn's a fucking menace.
Yeah,
dude. I wish this was the only part I hate about Karn. I wish Karn didn't have the implants.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he'd be a way cooler character if he was just like a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And like with the implants, it just kind of makes him stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he was just an intelligent fucking monster. But now he just is an aggressive brute like every other World Eater out there, in my opinion. Like every time you read about a World Eater, and you'll read about one in this one too, it's like, he was so fucking muscular and he just wanted to murder shit. And I'm like, this just sounds like Karn. Like it's all the same shit.
Yeah. Well, I think like the Dark Angels, I could have them number one if they didn't fuck off from Caliban so hard.
I could, and if their Primarch wasn't a fucking
idiot. Yes, that
Both
they threw away like so much of their like strength.
Literally, if their Primarch wasn't an idiot, all of it would be solved. All of it would have been solved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the fucking
like
Lion.
honestly, the Fallen should honestly be on this list because I would have Luther above him because Luther's a way better Primarch.
That's so true. That's a really good point. Now that you think about it, like the Dark Angels, but we did say this is pre everything.
Yeah.
But I will say after the Fallen, the Dark Angels got weak.
I mean, yes, they're shipping out Astartes, but like you're missing your top librarian. Your second best librarian, honestly, your actual fucking leader.
Yeah, your actual leader.
Like the dude that knows. You're handicapping yourself.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is like throughout the lore going forward. I'm not even talking heresy. Like even in 40k.
Yeah. It
cripples the Dark Angels so much that even 10,000 years later, their biggest enemy is the Fallen. So it's like they're like constantly in this loop of like they can't do anything, because they're having to deal with the Fallen. And if like fucking the Lion was just like a little bit smarter,
maybe not send your fucking act like your best captain, Dick Caliban, and ignore the entire planet for years.
It was sad, yeah. So I understand why you have the Dark Angels so low. The next thing for me was actually the Blood Angels, and I'll stick to this. We haven't seen a lot of the Blood Angels, but we do know the Blood Angels have one of the best warriors, and I don't remember his name.
Yep, I agree.
We know there's like a list of warriors,
and he's S.
He's S tier. We have Servitor S tier. We have we've been talking about him like so many times.
Servitor. Abaddon.
Abaddon S tier. We have Karn S tier. This dude from the Blood Angels is S tier. I would argue Ahriman is S tier. We hear so much about Ahriman from the other things.
Maybe Bjorn?
No. Bjorn at this point in time isn't.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, yeah, I would say just those 5. I can't think of Typhus, but he's not even like insanely known for his stuff. If we start reading the book, like first time I was like Corfarion. Nah, Corfarion turned out to be a bitch. He's not even like
he's not even like
full
a fighter.
Astartes.
Yeah,
he's like half Astartes, like Luther.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Erebus considered that?
Erebus is a good fighter, but
what's his face at First Heretic? Who's the main character? The Crimson King.
Tor Algadon. It's Tor something.
No, it's Artal. Something Artal.
Oh, Artal. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like
the badass.
Yeah, he's Crimson King because like he's possessed.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think about that part. All right.
Yeah, so I would say the Blood Angels up there, and like Sanguinius is
a badass.
I think. We haven't read anything about him.
Well, I mean, fucking Graham.
Come on, man. But yeah, I just think the Blood Angels as a legion is so well respected amongst the other legions. It'd be hard not to put them up there.
Yep.
Next, you have the Death Guard.
Yep, Death Guard. I mean, they're all about attrition. They don't fucking stop. They are fairly large too. I mean, Typhus is a badass. As much as I hate to say that, Gara's a bad motherfucker in my opinion.
Yeah, and then I have the World Leaders at that level. I think that's like a very well aligned.
Yeah.
Like the World Leaders and Death Guard, I think would give each other a great run for their money.
Yep.
I think the World Leaders would win that one though. Like in a battle of attrition, the World Leaders would just chew through it.
They would.
I mean, you would agree with that though. You have the World Leaders above Death Guard, and so do I.
That would be an interesting fight though.
Yeah, I think the World Leaders would probably
two ones that don't stop, but one really doesn't stop.
The Death Guard, like they don't have the tactics because they don't believe in it. Like we've seen that, right? When they were doing Isfahan 3, they're just marching towards the city. Like there wasn't like a
Death Guard or World Leaders.
Death Guard.
Okay.
The Death Guard, like they're just marching towards the city and getting blown up. That it's okay because they're the Death Guard, right?
Yeah, they just don't stop.
That wouldn't work in a battle against the World Eaters.
Yeah, they'll just keep eating you.
Exactly. And so the thing is, like, I think the World Eaters would win that one pretty easily.
Yep.
Because like the things that beat the World Eaters is that tactics. Like, how do we not go at them at an endless wave?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna lose that battle. Yeah.
Next, I have Blood Angels.
You do have Blood Angels.
It's weird putting Blood Angels this low.
But it makes sense because we don't know anything about them.
Exactly, and that's kind of like I know they're strong, so I have to have them like the top 10.
So devastating. What's crazy about like the Blood Angels? I know more about the Blood Angels in 40K than I do in 30K, and they're led by like the most badass motherfucker in the history of history. They're like the top 3 most badasses in their fucking legion. It's nuts. Dante is like
I've heard a lot about Dante.
Such a bad motherfucker, and he's like old. He's like dying of old age. Because, like, he can't die.
Someone, come on.
Exactly. And, like, the one time he did die, Sanguinius, from, like, death, brought him back.
Interesting.
He's like, Sanguinius, is that you? He's like, yeah, I'm not done with you. Get the fuck back. And Dante's like, bro.
Thanks.
It finally worked out for me.
All right. And you have Emperor's Children.
Yeah, Emperor's Children. I think this makes sense. I really like where they're at in my list. The Emperor's Children are, I think they're smack dab in the middle, which is how we describe the Emperor's Children.
Yeah, second best at everything.
Striving for perfection, but like always approaching mediocrity.
Yeah, I guess that. I have so next I have Night Lords, and it's just because Servitor.
Dude, honestly, after the fucking short story though, fucking the Night
They're
Hunter,
fucking strong.
the Night Hunter's badass though
Yeah.
too. And seeing the Night Hunter beat the shit out of Korax as well.
Yeah, he just fucked a lot of shit up.
The Night Hunter's like 2-0, which is more than any other Primarch out there.
This
First
is true.
off. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Honestly, wait, if it would have made him, he would have been like number 2 if he just would have finished off.
The Lion,
No,
Korax.
no. Lorgar. Which, like, you know what? You're useless. Fucking cut off.
If the Night Hunter was like, you know what? Let me take care of 2 problems right now and just fucking kill Lorgar. It would have been like best Primarch in the fucking series
All right,
there.
number 1 on my list.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
buying your model.
That would have been sick. Like I would have been writing Games Workshop. I will pay $1,000 for his model. Okay, and I have Death Guard. So we're kind of reaching that point in the list where it's just like
going back and forth.
These kind of legions are not top tier S or A legions, but legions that would kind of be in that range.
They'd be annoying as hell.
Yeah, because the next one you have is the Emperor's Children.
Yep.
And I have the Imperial Fist. I feel bad putting the Imperial Fist this low. The problem I have with the Imperial Fist is they really need time.
Yeah, like when I think Imperial Fist is like defense.
They are exclusively defense.
So like if someone like is invading them, I could see them winning. But if they are in like a one-on-one just on a planet, I don't think they win. I mean, look at what happened on Mars. They sent a crew there, and they were like, "Fuck, we gotta get out of here. We're getting fucked up."
That's another one that's in the S tier that we're forgetting. The first captain of the Imperial Fist.
Oh, yes.
What the fuck is his name?
Oh, I just literally just read his name like 3 hours ago.
Oh my god.
It's just an S.
I think it does too.
It's
Sigismund.
Yes, Sigismund.
Sigismund. Alright. Fuck yeah. I'm so glad we weren't stuck on that for like 10 minutes. Sigismund. That's another S tier.
Yep.
Oh, and he's in the Imperial Fist. Yeah, the Imperial Fist, like they have one job.
Yep.
They do it better than anyone else. Like they do it better than the Iron Warriors, I would say.
Yep.
But the Iron Warriors can do more things.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next, you have the Imperial Fists, and I have
Word Bearers.
the Word Bearers. Yeah. So I know
Honestly,
we hate the Word Bearers.
I could see Word Bearers being top
A.
6.
Yeah. Like
Just because they're so big.
when we read about them in First Heretic, after the Emperor did the whole Nikea thing, they were fucking wrecking shit. Because remember, they had the Custodes watching over them, and they had a higher compliance rate than the Ultramarines. They were turning more worlds than the Ultramarines, and that's hard to do. So I think like if the Word Bearers had the motivation.
Yes.
And they were all united under one prayer or whatever the fuck
whatever
they're
the
doing.
other thing is.
They could be a beast, but the problem is they're just so fragile.
Yep.
They're so fragile as a legion. Like they're such a mock legion to the Ultramarines. It's kind of gross. So next up you have the White Scars.
Yeah, honestly, I could see the awesome. It's another legion we haven't seen a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like every time like I hear anything about them, they're bad motherfuckers, and I could see them like jumping like way up. But right now, like we know nothing other than part of them in a short story. I was like, their stuff pretty cool.
I think they have another S tier guy that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But yeah, White Scars. The problem I have with the White Scars is they exclusively fight on like the outer rims because they want to be left alone.
Yeah.
The issue I have is like they're not like the Alpha Legion where they're doing that and gathering intelligence at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of doing their own thing. Like they would have no idea how to fight the World Eaters. They would fucking die.
Yeah, I don't know. When I think of the White Scars, I just imagine conquerors because of Genghis Khan.
Yeah, I mean they're badass, and they what they do is they they will attack you in a way similar to King of Kong, like
Yeah.
you've never seen before.
Yeah,
And that's
they're on
why,
their bikes instead of the horses.
well, I mean, the concept is like Genghis Khan would come into a place, and like his military tactics are not something that they were used to. They're horseback archers,
Yeah.
like in the way that they utilize them, and the fact that they were just so fucking like organized. The Khan is great at doing that, but I don't think it's going to be as useful against a lot of legions out there. That's just my thing, you know.
Yeah.
I have Iron Hands. We just don't fucking know a lot about the Iron Hands. We know Ferris Mans is dead, which is a huge cripple
Yeah.
to the Iron Hands. Prior to this, I'm sure they're badass. He was competing to be War Master. I'm sure the Iron Hands were fucking phenomenal, but we don't fucking know a lot about them. I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
Next up, you've got the Word Bearers, and I've got the Night Lords. So, Word Bearers are kind of as we described.
Yep.
You
I
rank
got
them a
nothing more to
little
say.
lower because they're just so fragile.
Yeah, I mean they're huge.
Here's the thing about the Night Lords that I think people underestimate. The Night Lords, the concept of them is they know that they don't win in a fair fight.
Yeah.
So they don't have it.
Yeah.
Like there's
I like
no
that.
such thing as honor to them. They don't believe in that. They believe in winning.
Yeah.
Like when Angron's like, we're just gonna fucking have a bloodbath. The Night Hunter's like, you know, if I lose that bloodbath, then I wouldn't do it. Which is why they're so good at like delaying
Yeah.
the Dark Angels. Like they look for opportunities. It's an exchange, and it works so well for them because they're not in it to beat your legion.
Yeah.
They're in it to cripple you as much as fucking possible, and they're phenomenal at doing so. So I hate that the Night Lords are so low, but the reason is because they aren't made to beat other legions. They're not made to be these insane badasses. They're made to like do everything else, to like win a battle even if like you don't win. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
you lose, but the enemy lost so fucking much that they can't
Right.
really claim it as a win. So next up we've got Raven Guard and Salamanders. So I was Salamanders, you were Raven Guard.
Yep.
Crazy that they're both in this Islam fight.
Honestly, at this point, it was kind of a toss up between the two.
Yeah. Because you have Salamanders next.
Yep.
And I have White Scars next, yeah.
Don't know enough about them to say either.
Yeah, because the bottom of our list, we've got Salamanders. You've got Raven Guard, I got Salamanders next. You've got Salamanders, I've got White Scars. You've got Iron Hands, I've got Raven Guard. So all three of the legions that are in Islam 5.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like they get so fucked up that we don't know a lot about.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had the Salamanders up there. I think Vulcan's a fucking
Oh,
powerhouse.
they're supposed to be super fucking strong.
They really
so I
are.
can see them being like way higher, but right now it's hard to say because every time we read about them, they get fucked.
Anytime we like read about the Salamanders when they're actually in a group, they kick fucking ass. It's insane. I'm sure we're gonna see some amazing things. And anytime we read about Vulcan, he's a fucking monster. But yeah, because like we got the White Scars and we have Raven Guard. And the thing is, like, with the Raven Guard, even prior, like, we know Korax is a badass.
Yeah.
Kind of. We know he fought.
He fucked up Lorgar.
Which is cool, but not impressive.
Yeah, not impressed at all.
So
the guy that says he's not a warrior gets fucked up.
So, I don't know. It's kind of really hard to rank the Raven Guard. It's really hard to rank the Salamanders.
Yep.
We haven't seen impressive things from them, but we both love the Salamanders. Like, we love, like, the concept of their legion.
Yeah,
we think
I
it's
like them.
Yeah, really cool. Then both of our last ones.
Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, I mean, honestly, it makes sense. Their whole thing is espionage. When you're just fighting, there's no espionage involved.
And not only that, like, even if you were to put it like a campaign against each other, I feel like the Alpha Legion isn't going to have a benefit against other legions.
Yep.
They'll have a benefit against Xenos. They're going to have a benefit against other humans. But Astartes are not only enhanced physically, but also mentally.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be really hard. But we have, I don't know, the Alpha Legion could probably kill the World Eaters. Like, they're one of the fucking
I can see
legions that can do it. But they just, unfortunately, that's like one of the few that they could probably take on. And yeah, they're just not up there. Alpha Legion, though, might be good guys.
Yeah,
I'm not
we don't know.
sure. We have no idea. But obviously, after ISFAM 5,
This list would change a lot.
I wouldn't say it changes a lot because the lowest ranks we have Raven Guard, we have Salamanders pretty low.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think it would change a lot. I think the big event that shakes this thing up is Prospero. Because we have Thousand Suns way up at the top.
Yeah, that's true.
So after Prospero, I really think Thousand Suns would probably end up in the bottom 5.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because that's
awesome.
that's my next army. I'm super pumped.
This will be awesome. So guys,
We're over time.
Yeah, this
is
is
it was a fun conversation.
It was. So I'm literally gonna name this Legions and BS because the first half was talking about
BS.
Yeah, BS, and then
we
the
lost Dylan for 10 minutes. I thought
it was like 3. All right. Anyway, guys, this is after our anthology episode. We will have one here in like 3 more books after Primarchs.
Which is really cool because we're gonna do which actors would play.
Yes, can't wait for that. So next week we will be previewing Outcast Dead by Graham McNeil. So far, neither of us are impressed, but we will see how that changes that all during our preview.
I'm sure the ending will be better.
Yep. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can
like on YouTube.
Yes, please like and subscribe on the YouTube. Leave us comments. We'll reply to them. We will have our episodes up soon for that as well.
We've replied to every comment. I will say that. No, we've gotten a few, but we've
Yes,
replied to every comment.
Exactly. You can email us at theheresylodge@gmail.com. You can shoot the shit with us on Discord, which you can find pinned to our Twitter at @heresylodge.
We shoot a lot of shit, so that's
all we do.
That's not like a lie. We will definitely do that. If you message us, we will respond, and there will be a lot of memes.
Yes, there will. So that is the episode, guys. We're gonna go play a game, and then we're gonna
probably go to bed.
Yes. So you guys have a good weekend when you hear this, and have a good one.
See you guys.